Hi, I'm Joshua Carving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, Power Rangers versus Voltron. Everything went basically as expected. Voltron stomped in pretty well every regard, and they gave very good reasons as to why. I'm glad that they didn't go around including like a ton of the extra machines and didn't convolute everything. They kept it pretty basic, which was a good idea, but then as well, they did end up, bringing in those things for the ending, like when they mentioned that the Ultra Zord was added on and still got one-shotted. The animation was fantastic. There was some of the models that were kind of off, like pretty much the Paladins and the Rangers were both kind of... One was too you could count the polys on them. The other one was a bit weird looking. It didn't quite look like the characters. You could kind of tell that they were like patch made for this, and not too closely either. But the action was great. They did a good job of creating like the tension, like when they lost like the arm, and because usually in a death battle, once you've lost a limb, you're pretty much screwed. With the exception of Fox versus Bucky, in recent memory at the very least. Also Doomsday versus Hulk, but that's kind of regen. But anyway, the only complaint that I have was that, well, there's two complaints really. MatPat's voice acting did kind of pull me out of it a bit. I have nothing against MatPat and his voice acting, it was good, but there was no point where I didn't hear him and go, that's MatPat. He just has way too notable of a voice, and it kind of pulled me right out of it. The other problem is that, Torian's always kind of been bad for this, but especially in this one, there was a lot of the, glass mountains or glass buildings where whenever something shatters for him, it doesn't break like how you'd expect it to. Like, a real thing wouldn't break the way that he has it break. Kind of makes everything look like glass. Which is kind of a problem, but it's honestly a very big nitpick. So, now for the next one. Natsu versus Ace. I cannot exaggerate when I say that I really don't care about this fight. I already had enough of a difficult time getting enough shits together to make my Urza versus Zoro prediction. So, this being so close to it definitely makes it very hard for me to will together this fight. But I've looked at some of the research and things like that and tried to put together my mildly informed opinion. Doesn't help that there's very little consensus on the forums and things as to what these characters are actually at. From what I have seen, Ace should be stronger and faster in most regards. So he should just simply have higher numbers. But we have one of those classic death battle no limits fallacies, which is Natsu eating fire. So this leads to basically the situation where a lot of people are looking at this going, hey, the guy who can turn into fire is fighting a guy who eats fire. So it would kind of seem very evident as to who would win that. But at the same time, there's a lot of claims that once Ace is eaten as fire, if it's possible at all, he would simply burst out. He would reform himself and literally be a human inside of Natsu, at which point it's just basically telefragging. This is actually supported by the animator, CV Animation, Jets, yeah. He confirmed that this was his animation that was going to have the goriest kill. Now, which sounds more gory? Someone eating fire and then that being the end of the fight, or someone eating fire and then having a friggin' person inside of him suddenly and he just explodes in blood. So, I can think of more gory ways that they would have Natsu die to Ace as opposed to the other way around. So I do think, actually, that Ace is going to win. But I honestly don't care too much. I won't lose any sleep, no matter who wins. All I'm looking for is base next time. And I'm sure the animation will look good. From what I've seen, it's in the same city that Zoro versus Urza was. So who knows, maybe Zoro will find... Or sorry, maybe Natsu will find Urza's body, and that's what starts the fight. Well, that's all I'm going to really say about this one. I will see you guys in the next one.